Very good question. That boat is ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Transnation Esports Tier 1 no assist coverage from Canada and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. That boat there is actually that is a man-made lake in the middle of the track, I believe. Um, it is technically a lake because it is surrounded by dirt on all four sides. Yeah, oftentimes during the Grand Prix weekend, there's usually, during a normal year, there'd be people on jet skis and stuff kind of ripping around on there. So, uh, of course, this is an island that we are on here in Canada. I believe it's Île Notre Dame. My French is not that great, but I believe it's something like that. And this racetrack is actually surrounded by some of back in the 60s. I believe it was Expo 67, which is a World's Fair that took place right in this area. And there's a nice biodome that's visible from the track, and there's been lots of racing that's gone on here at this Canadian circuit over the years. It is of course named after Gilles Villeneuve, father of Jacques. But into the racing, we have 13 drivers here this afternoon racing around this Canadian Grand Prix circuit. We have our Tier 1, I believe it is confirmed that he is the Tier 1 champion now, and that would be Andrew Lee out in that Williams. Not sure.
It's good to see Williams back on top of F1.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. May not be real life F1, but they're certainly.
We can dream.
We can dream. We can dream. I mean, hopefully with the influx of money that they're set to receive, and the new 2022 regulations, 2022 regulations, hopefully that will help them get back to the top of Formula One, but that remains to be seen here. Let's see, what are we looking at? Fitted, so lots of drivers opting to start out on a medium run here. I do believe the mediums are a pretty decent tire to start on here. They're about a half second slower than what you might see the softs run around here, but they can certainly go longer in the race than the softs can.
Weather report is Ken Doyle reported all dry.
All dry, very nice. So that is what you like to see around Canada. It's a track that, I mean, there's been some of the best races I think that we've seen in the past decades. At least a couple of them have taken place here in Canada, and they've involved rain. Of course, there was Jenson Button a number of years ago that picked up a stunning victory after being involved in a couple of incidents and dry, rain.
Everything.
Yeah, I think there was a red flag in that race for the rain. It was pretty insane. As Andrew Lee puts up a 108.3 here early on in this session. So as the track rubbers up, I imagine he's going to improve on that. Regardless, a nice opening lap for him.
And Brett with a 109.8.
Yeah, Brett with a 109.8, so a nice time there for Mr. Brett Keenan. Sure, he will look to improve on that though as the session rolls on. Josh Banks on a flying lap as well. Of course, for those tuning in that are not aware, this is actually going to be the final race of what is technically Season 6 here in the Transnation Esports. There's going to be a bit of a reshuffling of some of the tiers due to attendance numbers that we've seen and some drivers no longer being able to commit to the full season. So we're going to see a reshuffling of some of the tiers. Sort of merge some of the tiers upwards, and in an effort to create fuller grids as the season rolls on. And we are going to take a next weekend off and we will resume racing with a Season 6.5 season opener at Austria in 2 weeks. So next week there is plans in the works for a 100% race. Details have yet to be decided on that, but yeah, but should be some exciting times ahead for the league, and hopefully we're going to be able to see nice full grids again, and some great driving like we've seen throughout this season.
Yeah, I didn't even know that we were going to be off next week.
Yeah. That's a nice little bonus there. Next week, of course, would have been the French Grand Prix, but that is it's opted. The decision has been made to just take that week off. Of course, regionals will go ahead with the running. They're going to go on as normal. The European and the U.S. regionals will have their French Grand Prix this coming week. So those will still proceed as normal, but the National Series will not go. As we're about to see Albert cross the start-finish line, what can he do? He jumps up to P2 with a 108.4. So Albert has been putting up. He's had some very good qualifying sessions the past few weeks, and it looks to carry that into Canada here, as he has looked strong in recent races. Now, Mike, this Canadian Grand Prix circuit, it is very much, technically it is a street circuit-ish, but it doesn't totally have that street circuit feel. What are your thoughts on this circuit? Is it one that you tend to look forward to, or is it just, or do you prefer not coming to this track?
Well, I've always liked this track. I mean, this is a good track. It's a little technical going around, coming around that last chicane, Wall of Champions, where it's taking out so many drivers before. But other than that, man, it's a good track.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there. It's an interesting mix and an interesting balance that you have to find in the car, because there are some really technical sections to this track, such as 3 and 4, where we see Tyler Beasley going through right now. And that's, of course, 3 and 4 is where Vettel had his infamous incident, we can call it that, in last year's race that cost him the victory. But it's an interesting balance that you have to achieve here, because there's some incredible DRS straights that you need to be able to be fast down, but then you also need the downforce in the corners for the technical sections. So
a lot of people don't remember that this long back straightaway used to have a chicane in it.
Yeah, that is a very good point. The pit lane actually just used to be right out of the hairpin corner, but of course the track was kind of reworked actually quite a while ago, and the pits were moved to their current location. But that's actually a good point. You'll look at old footage from the Canadian Grand Prix, and man, some of those cars back in the 70s, like, they were just incredible how they were manhandling them around the circuits. But there was a chicane back then. You're right, down that long back straightaway.
Yeah.
We're looking at Michael Garone Jr. right now, who has set his time on the mediums. He's out on the mediums again. Now, of course, with there only being 13 drivers here, he's just got to be trying a different strategy here. He is the only driver who has set their fastest lap on the mediums.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
Only P1 at 108.2.
Yeah, that's a very nice time for Izzat, as the Alfa Romeo driver goes up to the top of the board there. He's a half a tenth faster than Mr. Andrew Lee, with Andrew Lee out on track right now, but he's not on a flying lap.
Yeah, I'm watching Michael. I mean, he's on these meetings, and I don't know. I think he's going to switch back to the soft suit. He has to, because I mean, I don't see him starting on those meetings at all.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I thought I really do like the alternate strategy here at the start here in Canada. I mean, sure, the guys on the softs are going to be faster than you for a couple of laps. He's almost half a tenth up on his previous best time. Um, so he's got some pace going here. He could seriously move up the standings. We'll keep an eye on him, but the mediums you just able to go so much longer, and then you can go to a double soft stint at the end as he brings it into
No,
the
he's going in
pits.
now.
Oh, he did invalidate, so it's unfortunate for Michael. I imagine he'll probably come out on a set of softs now, but we'll see. Everybody, we do have Tyler out. He's technically on a flying lap, but he's already invalidated.
LB Joker's invalidated as well.
Yeah, Daniel is blasted through. I believe that is the chicane at 7 and 8, or maybe it's 8 and 9. I can't remember.
And Alberts, I think, is on the flying lap right now.
Oh. You are correct, although he has invalidated. He was 2/10 of a second up, though, so I through sector 1, so I wonder if that was just a result of the invalidation, or... Still plenty of time for these drivers to dive into the pits and slap on a new set of softs, but...
Yeah, Mr. Doyle has invalidated as well.
This is
So
a track...
oh. Mackenzie's on flyer right now.
This is a track that Mackenzie's not going full speed, though, so...
No, he's not.
I believe he must be bringing that into the pits. Maybe made a mistake. But this is a track that penalties are going to play a very large role in the finishing positions of this race. You're going to see lots of drivers, you know, they're gonna rack up the penalties. We've seen that through everything so far, and I think it's just going to continue. As Tyler just
going through 3 and 4 is usually where a lot of people get penalties at.
Yep, yeah, 3 and 4, and of course the final chicane. Very easy to pick up a track extension penalty there, just cutting the corner. But and I mean, there's 3 and 4. There's 8 or 9 or turn 8 or 9, I believe, is another one. As Daniel Hernandez jumps up to P7 with a 108.5. Actually, very impressive to see how close lots of these drivers are as Tyler almost gets into the wall of champions. He did invalidate his lap.
Yeah, that's so easy to do, man.
But
you think you got that corner right, that chicane right, and then you just hit the damn wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah, you hit the damn wall, or you lose the back end coming out of that corner. As who was it? Was it Romain Grosjean or Kevin Magnussen did? And had a massive accident there last year, I believe. So
yeah, more than likely, I'm pretty sure it's probably Grosjean.
Yeah, probably. Being completely honest. But 5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. Maybe a bit more than 5 minutes, as our time is usually off.
And Andrew's up in the second sector right now.
Oh, and so is
he went purple.
Michael Garone Jr. is also up as well. He is making his way through sector 3 right now. We're gonna ride with him, and then we'll. Oh wait,
Andrew's actually getting a tow from his teammate.
Oh, so convenient there for Mr. Lee, as he is gonna come around the final corner. What's he gonna do? He goes fastest, almost breaks 117s. 3 1,000ths shy. And Michael Garone Jr. pops up to P9 on a 108.7 on the softs. So I'm sure Mike will want to try and improve that. He should have enough time to slap on a new set of tires still in the pits. Of course, it is a very short lap here around Canada.
Let's see what Brett's gonna do.
Yeah.
Brett's up on his time. He's 5/10 up on his time right now.
Oh, so he is. So Mr. Brett Keenan, he's running out of ERS, so that is going to hurt him at the end of this lap, though. Down to 3%, so 1% now. He should be good. He comes around the final corner, and he's going to cross the line. What's he going to be able to do? Where will he be able to jump to? Will the lack of ERS hurt him? He does improve by almost 4/10, but does not improve positionally.
He's using the Michael Schumacher helmet this week.
Ah, so he is. Mr. Brett Keenan in the Alfa Romeo. Has some drivers coming out of the pits now on outlaps.
Albert's coming out. Mackenzie's coming out.
So
Josh Banks is coming out.
Will be interesting to see how, if any of these drivers are able to crack the 107s. The track is all rubbered up now. These should be the fastest times that we've seen throughout the session here coming up here. We'll see if one of these drivers is able to crack that magical 107 mark. We currently have 9 drivers in the 108s, so it is a very tight grid from first down on to 9th. But with one driver still yet to set a lap, that is Tyler Beasley. He's just coming out right now. But Josh,
come back out or no?
Sorry.
I was wondering if Andrew's gonna come back out.
Maybe he still has time.
Yeah.
We're gonna follow along with Josh Banks here. He's the first one to go back on a flying lap. Right behind him is Daniel Hernandez on 2-lap-old softs, though.
Actually, Albert's out before Josh.
Nope, that is my bad. You're right, there's actually a few drivers that are in front of him. I don't know if... We're on to Albert, and I believe I saw that Albert ran a purple first sector, or second sector. We will see how he turns out. He's currently almost half a second back of Andrew Lee's best time that he is, of course, the 108 flat for Andrew Lee. Albert comes out of the final lap. Where's he going to be able to jump? He improves, but it's not enough to improve positionally. Next up is a Renault coming across. That's Zach Dillegaff to start a flying lap. Tyler Beasley is coming across to start his flying lap. Mackenzie Stewart next to cross the line. He's invalidated. Faith, who we have not talked much about yet, he is about to start a flying lap, currently in P10. As is Daniel Hernandez, who jumped up to P3. Daniel Hernandez, a 108.379. Very speedy lap from him. Josh Banks has retired from the session in the pits. We have Andrew Lee is just starting a flying lap.
Yeah, he just got there too.
Yeah, I think they might have about 30 seconds more than what we're seeing.
Okay.
Because there is that bit of a glitch, but
yeah.
Just following along right now, let's turn to Izzat. What's he up? He is invalidated. So we're going to hop on board with Tyler Beasley right now. He is not invalidated on this lap. He's going to set a time here, and where is it going to put him? He crosses the finish line, and he goes up to P5, a 108.4.
Nice.
Next up, Mackenzie Stewart to cross the line. He is going to cross, and he is going to not improve. Faith crosses the line. He jumps to P6.
Andrew's going even faster.
Andrew Lee setting lightning times here. Izzat about to cross, but he is invalidated. Michael Garone Jr. has invalidated, so he is going to start outside the top 10.
Oh, Andrew almost lost it.
And it did cost him. He didn't improve, unfortunately. Not going to break the 107s, as that I think is going to wrap up qualifying.
Yeah, if he didn't get that tank flap for come out the damn last chicane, he would have had 107.
Yeah, he was about. I think he was almost half a tenth, or 4/100ths of a second slower than his fastest time. So that definitely did cost him there. But regardless, the top 11 drivers all in the 108s. We're going to be in for a great race here. Very close race between all of these drivers. Should be a good one to watch, as Andrew Lee will take pole from Izat, who's going to start P2, and Daniel Hernandez starting P3.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a dry race. It's gonna be a fast race, so we'll see how things go.
Yeah, yeah, that we will. Should be it'll be certainly fun to watch. I hope. Um, should be some good racing here. There's a couple of decent passing opportunities around here in Canada, and strategy I'm sure is going to play a big role. As even we saw how tight the top 11 drivers are. Ooh, cloudy here in Canada, so we do have word that it's supposed to be a dry race, but the clouds, you never know. You can always see some spotty showers.
Yeah, I mean, it'll tell you it's gonna be a dry race, and then next you know it's overcast, and then next you know 5 minutes, 10 minutes later it starts raining.
Yeah, yeah, you can be told, yeah, it's a dry race, and then halfway through the race, Jeff comes on the radio and he's like, "We're gonna see rain in 10 minutes," and then, shut up, Jeff.
Yeah,
Don't want to hear that garbage. As just waiting for all the drivers here to ready up. As definitely there, it is probably the ideal go-to strategy here is a two-stop race, Mike. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I would say so, but I mean, with Andrew's pace, I mean, I know he can make anything happen. He can make a two stop race become a one stop race. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, Andrews has always been good on his tires.
That is true. And you know what? The tires, they don't really fall off that hard around this track. I know in we might actually see some overcuts take place here as
Yeah,
in this first stint. As it seems like in this game you can overcut drivers on that first stint on the softs. But regardless, going to take you through the DXT Esports starting grid here, as of course the our champion of the Tier 1 no assist division, Andrew Lee on pole, Izat in P2 in the Alfa Romeo. One of the predicted pit stop strategies is a three-stop race. I don't think we're going to be seeing drivers do that. Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, lines up on row 2 in third. Alongside him will be Albert Ramirez Garcia in P4. Tyler Beasley lines up on the third row in P5. Alongside him is Faith Caraca in P6. Stin lines up on row 4 in P7, with Mackenzie Stewart lining up in P8. On row 5, we have Josh Banks and Zach Hockmeyer, Dillegaff. And finally, in row 6, we do have Michael Garone Jr. alongside Ken Doyle. And then finally, starting P13, our last starting position here today is Mr. Brett Keenan in the Alfa Romeo. Now, interesting, Mike, that we see every driver opting to start on the softs here.
yeah.
I wonder if could we have had a weather update, perhaps?
I don't know.
Because this
That's
is,
that's the thing.
I would have definitely thought that we would have saw some of these drivers opt to start on the medium tires and just try and extend that first run. But
Yeah.
that is interesting. We'll
And I
see.
can't play, and I can't pull up none of the data on here. Everything is blank. I got the driver's name, but nothing on the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So maybe there is a bug too that's affecting that as well. As the lights are building, the revs are starting to build on for the drivers, and we're off here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Steen got a great start up the inside, and they're gonna go side by side into turn 1 a bit further back. Andrew Lee holds P1. Daniel Hernandez is going to lose P3, and there's two drivers side by side. Oh, there's an accident!
Oh!
Tyler Beasley in the wall, spun around. No safety, virtual safety car is out. We managed to catch.
I saw that. I couldn't see who he hit.
I think it might have been Steen in the Alpha Tauri. It looked like they were going side by side out of turn 1, and it looked like there might have been some wheel banging that went on, but it just looked like Tyler got his wheels in the wheels on the grass, and it's very hard to get traction, especially there. If you get in the grass there, it's almost game over, and unfortunate there for him. As we are back to green flag racing here.
Yeah.
Is that right behind Andrew, taking a peek into turn 1. We might have a battle on our hands here between these two throughout the race here today.
That sucks for Tyler.
It does, but you know what? It's still early in this race. This track does seem, it has a tendency to produce some safety cars. So I wouldn't count the race out yet, Tyler. Still plenty of time to go here.
Yeah, I got my graphics back right now.
Oh, that is good to hear. As Tyler opts to go to the mediums. Josh Banks back in an uncharacteristic P8 for him. Not the start to the weekend that he is going to want. But he is right behind Faith, and he might look to make a move on him. Of course, there actually are some. Well, right now, the field is staying fairly bunched up, without the aid of any DRS to this point, as Andrew across the line and goes fastest at 111.4. We'll certainly see that time go down as this race runs on.
Yeah, is that and Andrew actually are pulling a little bit away from Albert?
Yeah, that they are. And interestingly, Izzat is hanging with Andrew without using very much of his ERS. So Izzat looks to have some good pace around this circuit here today.
Well, he's close enough where Andrew can just pull. He can just stay right behind Andrew, and Andrew just pull him in closer, and that way he don't have to worry about using the ERS. So that's a good thing that he's saving his ERS right now.
Yeah, that is true. I imagine the idea might be there is just build out a gap, to Albert and Daniel behind you, and just try and stick with Andrew as long as you can.
Yeah.
Andrew has been in a class all his own so far this season.
Yes, he has.
It's been pretty incredible to see what he has done. As we're starting to see the 3-second penalties go up on the board. As we were talking about earlier, this is a track where you're going to see the 3-second penalties, and we do have an interest. Oh, that's Faith around! He loops it around out of turn 2. Definitely an easy spot to lose it. Does a little bit of a flick.
Almost lost it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting spot in terms of sort of camber, and you're putting down the throttle hard there. It's tricky, but he did a good job to keep it out of the wall. That's an easy spot if you do lose it to get tangled up in the wall. ERS of him. McKenzie going to the outside into the chicane. He's going to clear him, and he's going to clear Stin and make the pass.
Oh, Stin almost hit the wall.
That he did. It was... He wouldn't have wanted to be a piece of paper between the tire and that wall there.
And McKenzie went the long way around.
That he did, but made it work.
Josh is trying to get his crack at Steen as well.
Yeah, so Stin might be struggling a little bit on those softs. Oh, he's a little bit
Yeah.
wobbly there. That's going to hurt his run down this DRS straight here. Not a great passing opportunity at the end of this straight, but
No.
definitely an opportunity to use the DRS and try and save a bit of your energy. Oh, as Josh is going
There
to go
goes
try, yeah, around the outside into the hairpin.
cut back. Nope.
Going to be interesting who got the DRS there of these two drivers. It was Josh, so Josh should make easy work of this down this long straightaway. But he's not. They're going to go side by side into the chicane. Oh, Josh wisely backs out of it. But Josh is going to, he might lose a position here to Zach. Yeah. Zach up the inside into turn 1. Now Josh is going to have the advantage into turn 2 here. Zach around the outside now. And Josh is going to hold that position, but he lost some time to Stin now. That hurt Mr. Banks.
Yeah, Bullet Boy said not the fastest lap. He's trying to catch up to Faith.
Yeah, and he has that gap to around 10 seconds now. If you're in Tyler's shoes right now, I think you just gotta, like, you can do this lap, or you can do this race on 2 medium stints, which I imagine is what he's going to try to do. He's just got to be careful not to burn out these tires by pushing too hard early on here. He's still very much in this race, and he just has to be careful.
Yeah. He has to get, the maximum out those tires as well. So.
That is another good point. He does have to average probably 16 or 17 laps on those medium tires per stint. So he has to balance it. Is what he has to do. As we see an interesting train here forming up from about position 4 down to position 9, and Michael at the back of this train. Oh no, sorry, it's position 6. There's a bit of a gap there between Mackenzie and Stin.
And Andrews is pulling a little bit of a gap between him and Izat as well.
That he is. So Izat falling a little bit back, maybe starting to feel the tire deg a little bit in that Alfa Romeo. But they are 3 seconds clear of third place and Albert.
Mackenzie and Joker is Mackenzie might get it past him on this lap right here.
Mackenzie did not get a good run out of the hairpin though. I don't think he's going to be close enough.
No,
oh, and Albert's in the pits.
Yeah, he is. Oh, Mackenzie! Ooh, save that one, buddy.
Got a little bit hairy out of the last corner.
Oh, yeah.
As Brett is also into the pits. So Albert puts on a set of mediums, that's expected. Izat gets a 3-second time penalty, that's going to hurt him.
Yeah, he's pushing.
Just pushing to try and keep up with Andrew Lee. And that 3-second time penalty could cost him big time here as this race runs on.
Yeah, because Andrew really doesn't make too many mistakes at all, period.
Now, one of the things that I mentioned earlier in the broadcast is the possibility of an overcut here. These softs will still have a pace advantage on the mediums, it seems, to start the next run. So some of these guys that have opted to jump in early, I wonder if we might see some overcuts try and take place here.
McKenzie's got a little bit better at the hairpin, but he's still a little bit too far away.
Yeah, not quite close enough, as Daniel Hernandez will come into the pits, as we see Izat and Andrew also into the pits. Thought we might see these guys try and run another couple of laps. They're both opting for the mediums. Stin picks up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Josh Banks. Did Josh get into the back of him? Josh is replacing that wing. Huh. That's interesting.
He needs a push now.
Yeah, he does. He has the clean air right now, and he is out in front.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to come in next lap.
I'm keeping an eye right now on the battle here that's right now between P3 and P4 on the track. That is, of course, Michael Garone Jr. and Andrew Lee. Michael seems to be doing pretty well on those old softs versus Andrew on the fresh. This is between Michael and Zach. That is my mistake.
Josh Banks had to spin.
Uh-oh. Things are not going well here for Mr. Josh Banks. He looks to have avoided any damage, but those cold mediums definitely hard to hook up as Mackenzie dives into the pits. And Zach Hockmeyer. So Michael Garone Jr. is the last one out on track right now. The only driver that is yet to pit. As, see, I imagine he's probably going to come in this lap.
Brett had a 3-second time penalty as well.
Yeah, the time penalties are starting to build.
Dillagaff and Steen is a pretty close battle right now as well.
Yeah, you're right. The AlphaTauri and the Renault drivers. Both of them, of course, on fresh rubber.
Yeah, Josh is in again.
Oh, Josh has left the session.
He did?
Yeah, I did get a notification along the bottom. I don't know if this is... I didn't see him retire the car.
Yeah, he was just in the pit lane, so I don't know what happened.
And Michael Garone Jr. stays out, but now Andrew Lee is looking to take the race lead. Andrew will want to be careful here. He won't want to rush it too much. I would imagine that Mike is probably... yeah, he did let the let Andrew by. This makes you wonder. I wonder if Mike is trying to stretch this out to potentially a one-stop race. It's a tall order here in Canada if he wants to go softs to mediums. The hards are not really a good racing tire. It's just kind of slow around here, and
yeah, I'm just on board with Josh. I mean, I'm just trying to see if he's still in or not, because I mean, I'm trying to. Well, yeah, not.
No, he has rejoined.
He's back.
So potentially, I know I don't know if it was the same thing in your race earlier, Mike, but in my race there was a few drivers that seemed to have connection issues that were costing them a bit. So I wonder if that just might be what's going on there.
Yeah, and Andrew's like almost behind him as well too.
Michael Garone Jr. still out on those soft tires, so I think he might be trying to do a one-stop softs to mediums here. That would be certainly a feat if he can pull it off.
Yeah, it would be.
The mediums, I do find they are a very nice race tire around here. Actually, they really don't seem to fall off that much. It's very easy to keep them in a good operating temperature, as Mike's going to let Izzat go. Not going to hold him up. He is... But...
the only thing about that is with Mike staying out, I mean, it's only going to push him further down the order.
It is, but if he can potentially gain back the sort of 15 to 17 seconds that a pit stop would cost him, there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is for Josh Banks. Josh is just letting all these drivers go as Mike still stays out. So he's definitely trying to do a one-stop race here.
Oh, Josh, please get the hell out of the way. Yeah, I think Josh is going to retire in the pits.
Yeah, I do believe that you're correct. He does. He does retire into the pits. So that is our first retirement from this race. As Mike picks up a 3-second time penalty. I believe that is his second one so far of the race. As he is on lap 13 on these soft tires. with Albert right behind him. I would imagine he's just going to let Albert go. He does. Ooh! Locked it up going into the hairpin. And will this be the lap that we see him come into the pits? Not really.
Also got a little bit of lag on that one too.
Not many great battles going on around, except between Steen and Mr. Zach Dillegaff. Zach is actually close enough to potentially make a move here.
Michael's still out and almost hit the wall.
Interesting. As Zach makes a move around the outside, he's going to get the move done going into turn 1. So Zach Hochmeyer up to P7 in that Renault. 13-lap-old softs. Of course, Michael Garone Jr. will have the slight advantage in that he was able to start this race on a brand new set of soft tires. But man,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with Faith, where he went back and switched on to the softs, and I don't know. He just came with the pits a lap ago.
So I guess Faith didn't want to fit the hards. He can make it to the end on a double soft stint. So that's probably what he's thinking of doing from here. Yeah. As Daniel Hernandez LD Joker gets past Mike. That is for position. That's for P4. Will this be the lap that we see Mr. Michael Garone Jr. come into the pits? He's been out on these. He does come into the pits. He locks it up. No speeding penalty there. I was able to get it slowed down. Question is, where will he come out? I imagine he's going to come out probably behind Brett. Will definitely come out in front of Faith. He is going to come out behind Brett. Will he get the advantage coming out of turn 2 and 3? Ooh, they're going to come out side by side. Michael Garone Jr. and Brett Keenan. Brett just lets Mike go. So came out just in front of Brett Keenan. So now Mike is going to try to go to the end here. 20 laps on the mediums is very, very doable. So he is going to look to do that. As the closest battle on track right now is between Stin and Zach Dillegaff. Both of these drivers on similarly old tires and right around 1 second separating these drivers. But yeah, not really much going on out there on track right now. Ooh, Mike picks up another 3-second time penalty. I believe that not ideal for him, but see how that affects him at the end of the race. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is the virtual safety car. Mackenzie and Zach and Tyler. Oh Jesus. No! The Mercedes of Ken Doyle comes to a halt. He can't get through. Oh my goodness. So only one retirement comes out of it. But Tyler Beasley with no front wing. Zach Hochmeyer had nowhere to go either.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And for that wreck, we get a virtual safety car. That goes Masters.
Yeah, that is
a freaking safety car, but you know.
That's a little bit, and you know who that really hurts? It should be a full safety car. That's gonna kill Zach Hochmeyer and Tyler here.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out terribly bad for Tyler, as he was gonna have to come into the pits within the next couple laps anyways.
Yeah.
But still, the time that he loses as a result of this, that's very unfortunate.
Albert's left.
Albert is left. So again, perhaps network connection issues with the servers today. We did just see the host was migrating, as Mackenzie Stewart, of course, retiring from the session. He did leave the session, so the host did migrate. Zach in the pits right now, getting that front wing replaced and putting on the softs. That's interesting. So he's planning for another pit stop. I wonder if that's a mistake. But what this has done is it has put Michael Garone Jr. in a pretty good spot here. He, of course, he can make it to the end of this race on those medium compound tires, and everybody in front of him is going to have to come into the pits. Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, coming up on the rear of Albert's computer-controlled car.
Yeah, so Michael playing the long game, and it actually worked out for him.
Yeah, he does get a little bit fortunate with the incident that took place in front of him, and being able to gain some time on those guys. But Daniel Hernandez makes the move on the computer car. They rubbed wheels, but they both get through it just fine. So that puts Daniel.
Let's hope Albert can get back in.
Yeah, let's hope so. I'm just gonna keep an eye here on the Discord and make sure. Albert sent a message that said lobby broken ? So he might be there might be some connection errors or something that's going on there. Very unfortunate for him. As Brett picks up a 3-second time penalty. Brett currently running P8.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
So, we haven't really talked about Brett much at all this weekend. He's just running his own race. Doing a good job keeping it out of the wall, and knock on wood for Mr. Brett, of course. And he looks poised to bring home some points here today for that Alfa Romeo team.
Yeah.
Michael Garone Jr. closing in on the back of Ken Doyle for position here. This is for position 6. With Ken still needing to make another pit stop, I don't think he's going to put up too much of a fight for Mike here. Generally, they're not going to push you too hard. Especially at the rate that Mike has closed up on the rear wing. We do have a battle here between now. Stin has caught up to Albert's car. See some YouTube comments in. I'm going to invite Albert here quickly. Apparently he's wasn't able to get back in. Where are you here? Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Do I not have? Yeah, I'm trying to. There we go. So Albert should have an invite waiting for him. Unfortunate though for him.
Dropped down to 4th.
Did get dropped down to 4th, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be 5th now if he doesn't get back in here within the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, and we saw where we didn't see there. Mike did get past Ken Doyle for position. Mike now closing in on as we see Albert has just rejoined, so just in time to put up a fight here with Michael Garone Jr. Of course, Mike is on fresher tires. And man, Mike just missed
Yeah, I couldn't see anything because the camera was behind the damn trees.
Codemaster's just doing a great job.
Oh yeah.
But Albert is back in the session. That is good.
And he's got Kendo on his gearbox right now. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh.
I wonder what's going on there.
Looks like there's some lag on my screen, so.
Yeah, as Albert's going to go back around the outside of Ken Doyle, going into the chicane. Ooh, Ken almost got into the back of Albert as he locked up. He's on his way. So, Michael Garone
got around Brett.
That he did. So Zach Hochmeyer making his way back up through the field. He still needs to make another pit stop, though. No, he's not going to be able to bring those softs all the way to the end. That's like 17 laps or something. I mean, we saw Mike go 15 laps, and that was at the beginning of this race with the heavy fuel. So, you know, it's possible. I don't know if I'd be wanting to do that, though.
Is that trying to close the gap up on Andrew? Well, it was at like 4.5 seconds. Now it's only put 5.
Yeah. Maybe trying to burn some extra ERS right now. Put in a couple good final laps on those medium tires before they dive in and fit the softs. I wonder if we might see Izzat try and do an undercut here on Andrew. Try and dive in a lap or two early. Get onto those soft compound tires and try and make up a few seconds of that deficit that is currently there.
Yeah.
As Ken was able to get back around Albert. Albert's into the pits. And retired from the session. Interesting. So Albert is retired from the session. That is 3 drivers of the 13 that we started with that have retired. Tyler Beasley going around the outside of Brett Keenan into turn 1. He's going to get that move done. So all drivers that finish this race are going to score points. Faith is into the pits. Fits the mediums for his final run. As Albert's car is just coming out in front of Andrew Lee. As Faith comes out just behind Andrew.
Yeah, just pull over to the side.
Yep. So I'll tell you what, Mike. I think we might be... Michael Garone Jr. might be in line for a potential podium finish here today. He does have penalties, as everybody has penalties, perhaps except Andrew. But Mike might have made an absolute masterful strategy move here and might be on for a podium today.
Yeah.
I know I was talking to him earlier this week after the U.S. regional race, and he was talking about how it's not an ideal track for pad users, as some of the technical sections of this circuit can be quite difficult to navigate. But he's done a very good job of it so far today, and might culminate in a nice podium for him. But
yeah,
still...
LD Joker just has a penalty.
Just the single one?
3 seconds. Yeah. And
so
yeah.
So that will come
Michael
into play.
Yeah, Michael has 3 penalties right now. No, I take that back, 4.
Ooh. So four penalties is going to be rough. That's 12 seconds. So we might need a little bit of help from Daniel Hernandez here on that front. But I think probably this lap we're going to see these drivers pit to fit the set of softs for their final stints.
And Mr. Andrew Lee's on 2 warnings right now.
Aha.
That's on 1, 2, 3, 4. Izzat has 4 penalties right now.
4 penalties. So he's at 12 seconds as well. Actually, Izzat's probably going to be about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of Andrew after the pit stop, or Mike ahead or after the pit stop. But Andrew Lee stays out.
Let's see if Izzat stays out. No, Izzat's
Nope.
going in.
Yeah, Izzet's firing into the pits. So once penalties are factored into it, it's not really much of a race at all up here at the front today, as Daniel Hernandez stays out as well. Yeah, not really much of a battle up at the front, as it looks like Andrew Lee is just going to cruise to the finish line here. Of course, still 10 laps to go in this race. You know, things can happen in that time, but
Yeah.
Andrew looks like he's just out there running time trial laps. Just
Pretty much.
smooth and steady.
And bringing the two Renaults right along with him as well.
Yeah, the couple of drivers behind him, of course, on fresh tires.
I don't know, man. I think I'll probably just let those guys freaking pass me, man.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be coming into the pits anyways right here, which I feel like it's likely,
Oh, Lord.
he is coming into the pits.
Yeah.
So Andrew Lee coming in to fit the soft compound tire for his final run.
Albert says Will wasn't working well in the YouTube comments.
So that is unfortunate for Albert. I guess if there's a race that it's going to happen in, might as well be this one, as Daniel Hernandez dives into the pits. Should be interesting how far back of Michael Garone Jr. Daniel ends up. So Mike gets past his teammate, and he is off on the 12-lap old medium tires. What is the gap going to be? The gap is 7 seconds back to his teammate. So that would put, I believe once you factor in penalties, that would, as they stand right now, Daniel would leapfrog Mike. But regardless, Mike is still on for a good finish here. Despite those penalties that he has about 16 seconds back to the next driver that doesn't have to make another pit stop. Ken Doyle will need to make another pit stop. So I believe Mike
this had a fast lap 109.
So we're into the 109s now. Andrew Lee crosses the line, but of course he just pitted this lap, so that was not going to be his fast lap. I would imagine that we're going to see the fastest lap of the race turned out here from Mr. Andrew Lee. We're going to ride on board with him, we're going to ride along with him, as he is 0.4 of a second up on his previous best, as he does pick up a penalty. So Andrew Lee picks up a 3-second time penalty. Just so smooth he is controlling that car. All the way down to first gear, short shifts to third coming out of the corner. Sticks it in overtake down the long back straightaway. Out of the final corner, and he is going to cross the line. And he does not. He runs a 1:10.1, so not the fastest lap of the race. I wonder if he backed off after he got the penalty. As Mike picks up another 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, that's only 3.7 behind him right now.
Yeah, that's true. So the one lap undercut for Izzat has worked out quite nicely. He's closed the gap down to Andrew. Of course, when you factor in penalties, it's not really a race at all. But yeah, not too many great battles going on right now on track. The two Renaults are close enough. Are close enough to one another. But even still, yellow flag, sector 2 and 3. What's that? For absolutely nothing. Good to know. Andrew Lee was in that section. No, that wasn't Andrew. That was Tyler, I believe, that was in that section of the track at the time. But he's back on his way.
Brett's up to P7 now.
Yeah, Brett has run, like we said earlier, just running his own race, and he's 12 seconds back of Stin right now. He's got 10 seconds back to Zach Hochmeyer, Dilligaff behind him. So we haven't seen penalties being blasted up on the screen for Brett. So I think there's a good chance that he could hold that P7 by the end of this race here.
Yeah.
We do see Daniel Hernandez closing in on his teammate here.
Yeah, we see how one of those softs last though.
That is true. I mean, at the end of this race, I don't think we're going to see the softs drop off too hard. The nice thing about this track is, since you do have the long DRS zones, or you do have a few DRS zones and lots of straightaways around here, it does tend to keep some of the tire wear down. So that especially does help the softs in this final stint.
Yeah.
They seem to hold up quite well, as Tyler Beasley goes fastest. It was a 109 point something. He currently holds fastest lap of the race. As Stin is closing in on the back of Ken Doyle. Ken Doyle, I think, he's trying to go to the end of this race. That's an impressive feat to do on that medium compound tire.
21 lap hold softs, mediums.
Yeah, he's gonna need to go about 26 laps, I think. But the good news for him is that Brett Keenan is the next driver behind him, and Brett is 14 seconds back of Mr. Ken Doyle now. So as long as Ken can keep it between the lines and stay out of trouble in these final few laps, I think he might bring it home P6, and a very nice position for that Mercedes.
Yeah, Dilligaff is pulled away from his teammate as well, so.
Yeah, Zach is closing in on Brett Keenan. The gap now 6.5 seconds. So he's putting the hammer down here, trying to catch Brett Keenan in the final laps of this race. As is Daniel Hernandez trying to catch his teammate here. 1.7 seconds the gap. So we're going to keep an eye on these two as Daniel closing in on much fresher tires. Now the gap just down to 1.2 seconds. This is again only really the only battle that's on right now on the track. Is between these two Haas drivers. I feel like it probably won't be much of a battle for too long, but we shall see.
Yeah, it depends on how close he is. Going to the back straight. He should be able to get him there.
Yeah, he should have a lot better drive off of this final hairpin corner than Mike will. Of course, Mike on those 17-lap-old mediums. 0.7 of a second for Daniel, down to 6 before he gets DRS. Will he try and make a move going into the chicane? I don't think he's not going to be close enough to do so. But maybe into turn 1. He's got a good run. He's gonna take a peek down the inside of Mike as they go into turn 1, and he's gonna get that move done.
Yeah, Mike kind of let him go past too.
Yeah, Mike wasn't gonna put up much of a fight there. As Ken comes into the pits, so he decided he was not gonna be able to take those mediums to the end here. So with a couple laps remaining,
is Brett gonna get him?
Yeah, I think Brett will. And Zach it's going to be close between Ken and Zach. Ken will get some good pace back here going into turn 1. Into turn 2. But Zach is going to get him. I would imagine, though, Ken being on those fresh softs, he might be able to track Zach down.
Yeah.
as Zach is closing in on Brett right now. There could be a nice battle brewing here between these guys at the end of this race for the final lap or so. Of course, Andrew Lee just having crossed the, or is he about to cross the start-finish line? Where is he? He's currently in Sector 2.
Yeah.
So a lap and a half remaining of this Canadian Grand Prix. Yellow flag in Sector 2, that is for the Williams of Tyler Beasley. He is back running, though. No damage on that car.
Yeah, he lost it.
So our eyes are going to turn here with the final couple laps of this race to this potential battle brewing here for P6. This is between, of course, Brett Keane and Zach Hochmeyer and Ken Doyle. And actually also Faith right behind Ken. See if this comes to fruition. As Izzat has kept the gap around 6 seconds, but it's not going to be close enough. Despite all the penalties that Izzat has, I believe he is well clear of the driver behind him, being Daniel Hernandez.
Yeah, Delegaff's not going to get DRS either, I don't think. No, he does not have it.
No, he doesn't. He will have it coming into the final lap, though. So he might be able to get that move done. Of course, depends on what penalties are like for these drivers. We'll see that as they cross the line. Faith has also got into DRS range-ish of Ken.
And Andrew's coming around the last turn.
Ah, yes, Andrew Lee coming through the final chicane. He's going to cross the start-finish line to win the Canadian Grand Prix and take the championship. Congratulations to him. Izzat is going to come home P2, 17 seconds adrift of the...
Delegaff is on Brett's gearbox.
That he is. Daniel Hernandez is next to cross the start-finish line, so we're going to bounce back to that. He is going to cross the finish line and complete the podium for P3. Michael Garone Jr. coming home in P4. I believe we'll keep an eye on that as well. As Zach did not get a good run off the final corner. Is he going to be close enough to make a move on Brett? Stin leapfrogs. He's not going to be close. Oh, is he going to take a dive around the inside? He's not going to. Brett Keenan is going to come around the final corner. They both stay out of the wall. And Brett Keenan is going to cross the line in 6th. Will he keep it? He does not. Brett drops down to P8. Ken P6. Zach P7. So Ken Doyle doing a good job there. As
actually, Brett drops down to 9th.
Yeah, unfortunate for Brett there. The penalties came back to bite him at the end, but a well-deserved driver of the day goes to Michael Garone Jr., who did drop down to 5th after penalties. But I think if you would ask him at the coming into this weekend if would he be happy coming out of this race in 5th, he would have definitely said that he would be pleased with that. So we will see about getting Andrew Lee and the rest of our top 3 being Daniel Hernandez and Izzat into the party here. I'll go and add those 3. But Mike, it was an interesting Canadian Grand Prix. When you say we didn't see maybe some of the characteristic safety cars that we might see typically around this circuit, but still some good battles taking place nonetheless. And yeah, a nice fairly. There was of course the big accident that took out Mackenzie Stewart and severely affected Zach Hochmeyer and Tyler Beasley. So unfortunate for them, but you know they. Yeah, true. Only brought out of ESC as invites have been sent out to the top three. We'll see if they're able to potentially join here for some post race shenanigans. We do have Daniel Hernandez that has joined the party, so I believe we can start with Daniel. So Daniel, it was a great race for you. You showed some great pace here all weekend long. Um, of course, starting up near the front of the grid and then translating that into a great race run. Do you want to walk us through your race there and ultimately how your weekend unfolded?
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to qualify so high. I just like fucking sent it on that qualifying lap. Because I could have even be P2, although I broke my front wing on one of the walls, so I lost time there. But yeah, P3, super happy with the qualifying. And then in the race, I obviously had less pace than the top two, top three, until Albert had to disconnect, which was a pity, because maybe I could have gotten to him and have a fight. Really happy with the race. I was feeling speedy and consistent, and yeah.
Yeah, that was certainly a great run for you, and a good job just keeping it clean here throughout the throughout this race. Now, as we rev up, as we wind down this sort of partial season that we've done, and we move into the next, I guess, season 6.5 as it's being promoted. This has to give you a good bit of confidence going into the rest of or the remainder part of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been having trouble with my Wi-Fi. That's why I couldn't race in Baku and other races. So I hope I can fix that because I really enjoy the racing and preparing during the week, and then on Saturdays being in Division 1. So I really enjoy it, and I hope I can keep racing if my Wi-Fi lets me.
Yeah, I mean, for us as well, we do hope that for your sake, the Wi-Fi doesn't rear its ugly head again, the Wi-Fi problems, and that you're able to go problem free as we start up season 6.5 in 2 weeks time. So congratulations on your third place finish today, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you on more podiums in the future.
Okay, thank you.
And now we are going to move on to our race winner and Tier 1 no assist champion. And that
Lewis
would be
Hamilton.
Yeah, that would be the one and only Andrew Lee. Yeah, with a Lewis Hamilton-esque performance this season. Andrew, congratulations on the season here, and of course on your absolute dominant race weekend here today in Canada. You didn't put a foot wrong. You showed why you're the champion here today, and a massive congratulations. Walk us through here your qualifying effort. You didn't get to crack the 107s, which we thought you might get to do. Unfortunately, a bit of a tank slapper there coming out of the final chicane seemed to spoil that opportunity. But in the race, of course, you also didn't put a foot wrong. I think you might have led every lap as well I don't think you got the Grand Slam with the fastest lap, but regardless, still a great weekend for you and a great season.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been pretty good. Qualifying was alright. I was wanting to get a 107, to be honest. I was actually on for it there at the end, but yeah, obviously as seen on camera, I might have just been a bit too greedy with those curves, and it kind of spat me out the other side. So I was actually on for a 107 until that happened. So yeah, that kind of annoyed me a bit, but still got pole. And yeah, as far as the race goes, fairly straightforward. Got a good start alongside Kush, and then yeah, just able to build a bit of a gap, get out of the DRS. Took a bit longer than I wanted actually. He was actually staying with me for 4 or 5 laps or so. So his pace was actually pretty good today. Actually surprised me a little bit. But yeah, obviously time penalties definitely affected the end result. That doesn't really show how close he actually was. Um, but yeah, obviously you can be quick, but if you keep racking up those time penalties, they're just gonna knock you further and further behind. And yeah, unfortunately that happened to him today. But no, there's not really much else to say, to be honest. Just a nice clean race as far as I was concerned. I think I only ended up with 1 3 second, and that was towards the end.
Yeah.
Kind of happens when you start to be on your own for a little bit. You start to daydream a little bit. So
Yeah.
that kind of woke me up a little bit, and I kind of turned the engine and everything back up and decided, best way to try to stay awake and avoid doing that is just go hell for leather every lap. So yeah, that's what we did, and yeah, obviously come away with another win, the final one of season 6 and the championship as well. Really happy with that. Obviously, not really the way you want to be, I don't know, crowned the champion, so to speak, with half the season basically cut out due to poor attendance. But we'll take it, and yeah, obviously we'll keep trucking along when season 6.5 or 7 or 27 starts or whatever it is. Yeah, but just real happy with how the season's gone. Obviously, once again, big thanks go to the Leonish boys. They've been a massive help, not just with setups, but I think just improving me as a driver in general. So, I appreciate that. And yeah, I think that's it. I did actually realise last night too, as one of my friends actually pointed out to me, I've actually, with this championship win, I've actually now won everything that there is to win in terms of Transnation, AOR, race spec, and everything. So there's not actually a championship I haven't won now, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah,
that's alright. But yeah, we'll come back for season 6.5. Obviously, I love racing. That's what I do, and yeah, hopefully attendance can start to pick up again, and yeah, who knows? We might find a few more quick guys to come along and have a spin, and yeah, then we might have some interesting races coming soon.
Yeah, so that was actually one of the things that I was going to ask you is there was I heard that there was a little bit of talk, a question mark maybe surrounding whether you're going to partake in the season 6.5 when we restart back up in a couple weeks, but by the sounds of it you are, so that's definitely great to hear. And you're definitely the benchmark for lots of these drivers that I want to set them, and ultimately having the really fast drivers, it really does raise the level of competition for everybody.
Yeah,
You learn a lot more, and it really does do a lot of good for the league. So I'm sure with the combined tiers that are going to be coming up, or the revamped tiers, that we're going to see better attendance, and like you said, hopefully that leads to some good battles, some even better battles than what we've seen to this point in the season. So again, Andrew, a massive congratulations on your season and race. Mike, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, man. I mean, just a great race, man. Congratulations on winning the championship, man, and wait to see what you can do in season 6.5, man.
cheers, guys.
Alrighty, so I think that is going to wrap up today's race from Canada. It's been a great season. We saw lots of good battles going on, especially in the midfield. It seemed like it was completely up in the air every single race up there or out there. So hopefully that's going to carry on into season 6.5, which again we are going to start up at the Austrian Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time. Don't worry though, next weekend we will have racing of some sort for you. I believe in the works currently there's a 100% race being discussed. Don't know any of the details on that, but that looks to happen next weekend. So hopefully we'll see that roll out. But
Hopefully it's not Spa.
yeah, hopefully it's not Spa. We have Spa's a fun track to do, but there's been a lot of races that have been 100% races that have been run around there. So hopefully we'll see a new face. I think Hungary was being discussed as the potential track
Monaco.
there. But on behalf of Mike and myself, thank you for tuning in this season to the Transnation Esports and No Assist Tier 1. We will talk to you next season.